Eli had never liked blind dates. He had agreed to this one because his friends insisted, and because sometimes hope made people do strange things. The space station was quiet that evening, a soft hum of engines beneath polished floors and glass walls that showed the endless stars outside. He had arrived early, nervous, imagining the awkward smiles and forced conversation that usually filled such evenings. His date, a human named Mara, arrived late. She smiled politely, trying to fill the silence with small talk about food, work, and favorite planets. Eli listened, nodding, but he felt a hollow space inside him, a kind of loneliness that had nothing to do with company. They walked together in the station's public garden dome, where small glowing plants grew beside fountains that floated in zero gravity. He tried to enjoy it, but the conversation felt flat, rehearsed, like actors performing lines they didn't believe. After an hour, Mara made an excuse about a meeting and left. Eli watched her leave, feeling nothing but relief. He had hoped for sparks, maybe a chance at something new, but now the hope was gone, leaving him quietly disappointed. He wandered deeper into the dome, the soft light of the glowing plants reflecting in his eyes. It was then that he heard it, a voice. It was not loud. It was not spoken. It was a soft, trembling whisper inside his mind. Eli froze. He looked around. The dome was empty. He blinked, thinking it was a trick of his imagination. But the whisper came again, clearer this time, urgent but frightened. Please, help me. Eli's heart raced. He had read about telepathic species, about myths of creatures that could speak without mouths. But those were stories, legends told to children. Nothing like this should exist on a busy station filled with humans and aliens. Yet the voice sounded real, desperate, and tiny. Who's there? He whispered aloud, though he knew no answer would come. I am lost, the voice said, faint and trembling. Please, do not leave. Eli's breath caught. It was a child's voice, but not human. There was a warmth to it, a pure sense of fear and hope mixed together. Slowly, cautiously he followed the sound. It led him through winding corridors to a small observation area near the station's outer edge. Here, the stars shone brighter, unfiltered by glass walls, and the silence was almost complete. There, in a pool of faint light, was a small creature. Its body glimmered faintly, covered in scales that shimmered like liquid silver. Wings, too small for flight, wrapped around it protectively. Its eyes were wide and golden, reflecting the distant stars. Eli's mind screamed disbelief. Dragons were not supposed to exist. Not here. Not now. The creature looked at him, and Eli felt the whisper again, clearer than ever. Do not be afraid. I am small, but I am alone. Eli knelt slowly, careful not to frighten it. He extended a hand, though instinct told him not to. I'm not afraid, he said softly. I can help you. Can you understand me? A gentle pulse ran through his mind, almost like a heartbeat. The dragon's voice, more feeling than words, answered. Yes, I think you can hear me. Others cannot. Eli's chest tightened. He wanted to laugh at the absurdity, but the fear and loneliness in the dragon's small mind were too real. He had lived much of his life ignored, overlooked, treated like one more human in a crowded universe. And yet, here was a creature that had somehow reached him, a being that trusted him instantly without asking for anything but kindness. What happened to you? He asked aloud. The dragon's gaze did not break. It tilted its tiny head, and the faint shimmer of its scales pulsed with color. I was left, it whispered, faint but clear in his mind. Long ago. I do not remember much. Just darkness. And then I woke, and I am alone. Eli swallowed hard. He wanted to hug it, to hold it close, but he wasn't sure if it would understand. Instead, he sat down on the floor, cross-legged, leaving space for the small creature. You are not alone anymore, he said. I will stay. I promise. The dragon's pulse of light quickened, and Eli felt warmth wash through him. It was not heat, not physical, but an energy that filled him with calm, as if the creature was wrapping him in trust. For the first time in a long time, Eli felt a flicker of purpose, a reason to care. Hours passed. The station's lights dimmed, but neither moved. Eli talked quietly to the dragon, sharing stories of his life, his loneliness, his small hopes. The dragon listened, and when it pulsed, Eli felt it understanding more than words could say. He did not know how long they stayed like that, but when he finally stood to stretch, the dragon rose slightly, flapping its tiny wings. It hovered in the air, still fragile, still small, but full of life. I do not know your name, Eli said. I want to call you something. A soft ripple ran through its scales. I do not know mine either, it whispered. But I like yours. Eli. Eli smiled, a small, shaky smile, and extended his hand. The dragon hovered closer and lightly touched it with a tiny claw. The warmth spread through him again, a connection that was stronger than anything he had ever felt. He knew that nothing in his life would ever be the same. He had gone to a blind date expecting awkward conversation and mild disappointment. Instead, he had found something alive, something magical, something that needed him as much as he needed it. And for the first time in years, Eli felt the quiet stirrings of hope. The stars outside the dome shone brighter, as if recognizing the small miracle taking place inside a lonely human and a lost baby dragon who had finally found someone to listen. Eli could not stop thinking about the small dragon. He had returned to his small apartment on the station, but the image of golden eyes and shimmering scales stayed with him. He knew the creature could not survive alone. He also knew the station was full of beings who would not understand. Some might even try to take it away. The next day, Eli returned to the observation pod. The baby dragon was there, waiting. Its small body shimmered in the soft morning light, and its eyes focused on him immediately. Eli knelt down. "You came back," the dragon whispered in his mind. "I promised I would," Eli replied aloud. "I will not leave you alone again." The dragon pulsed lightly, a sign of happiness or relief, Eli could not tell which. Its tiny wings twitched, almost as if it wanted to fly, but it was too weak. Eli examined the pod. It was small, clean, and mostly abandoned, perfect for hiding the dragon from the station's curious eyes. "You can stay here safely," he said. "No one will find you if you stay quiet." The dragon pulsed again, almost like a laugh. "I can try." As days passed, Eli learned more about the creature. It did not have a name, and it did not remember much from before it awoke. It had memories of light, warmth, and being held, but nothing else. It also did not speak aloud. Only Eli could hear it. No one else on the station noticed anything unusual. "I think I can hear you because I am quiet," Eli said one evening as he sat cross-legged beside the pod. "Others are busy. They cannot stop and listen." The dragon's pulse of light grew warmer. "I feel safe with you. I do not feel safe with others." Eli's heart tightened. He realized that this creature was not only small and fragile, but it was also different from anything anyone had ever known. It was alone, and everyone else on the station would see it only as an unknown energy signature. They would try to capture it, study it, or sell it. "I will protect you," Eli said. "Even if I cannot stop them. I will find a way." The dragon leaned closer, its tiny wings brushing the floor. Eli reached out, letting it touch his hand. The warmth spread again like a quiet fire in his chest. It was strange and comforting at the same time. Eli began bringing small things for the dragon. Bits of food he thought it might like, soft cloths to make a nest, and gentle light from a small lamp so it could see clearly. The dragon watched him, its golden eyes curious, and sometimes it pulsed brighter when it felt something new or pleasant. One day, sensors on the station began to detect unusual energy waves. Eli noticed the readings on his personal device. He frowned. "They are coming for you," he whispered to the dragon. "People will notice. We have to be careful." The dragon pulsed in alarm, small waves of fear and urgency flowing into Eli's mind. He felt its panic as clearly as if it were his own. He held out a hand, calming himself first, then the dragon. "It's okay. We can hide. I will help you." They worked together quietly. Eli moved the dragon to a smaller, more secure pod, one that was almost invisible to the station's sensors. He lined it with soft cloth and small plants to make it comfortable. The dragon watched every movement, learning from him, trusting him more with each action. "You are clever," the dragon said one evening. Its pulse was slower now, calmer. "I do not remember being taught. I understand things with you." Eli smiled softly. "Humans are good at learning from each other. Maybe you are too. Maybe that is why we can understand each other." The days passed in quiet routine. Eli spoke to the dragon about his life, his loneliness, and the simple things he liked. Stars, quiet walks in the station, and soft music that played in empty corridors. The dragon listened, sometimes pulsing in excitement or curiosity. Eli realized that the dragon was not only learning, but it was also teaching him how to be patient, how to notice small details, and how to feel deeply without words. One afternoon, Eli met a station worker who asked him about the strange energy readings near the observation pod. The worker shrugged and walked away. No one had noticed the dragon. Eli smiled. He realized that only he could hear it, only he could feel it. That was their secret. "It is safer this way," Eli whispered to the dragon that evening. "No one else can hear you. No one else can bother you. You are only mine to protect." The dragon pulsed warmly, almost like a hug. I feel happy. I feel safe. With you. Eli felt a deep sense of connection. It was strange and new. He had never known a creature could feel so much, and that he could feel it in return. He realized that he did not feel lonely anymore. Every day he came back to the pod, and the dragon's presence made him feel needed, important, and alive. As the days turned into weeks, Eli learned to communicate better with the dragon. He discovered that its mind worked with feelings rather than words. Excitement was bright and fast, fear was sharp and small, sadness was deep and slow. He could sense its moods clearly, and in return he shared calm, warmth, and patience. You make the world quiet, the dragon said one evening, almost like a whispering echo in his mind. I can hear you. I can trust you. Eli smiled, feeling a small, quiet pride. That is what humans do, he replied. We listen. We try to understand. We care even when no one else notices. The dragon pulsed again, and Eli realized something important. It had chosen him just as he had chosen to stay. Together, in this small hidden pod, they had created a world no one else could hear or see. A world where trust, kindness, and quiet understanding could grow. Eli leaned back, watching the dragon's small wings twitch in contentment. He knew this was only the beginning. The station outside might never understand them. Others might come looking, curious or greedy. But for now they were safe. For now the dragon had a human who could listen. And Eli had a friend who would never leave him alone. For the first time in a long while, Eli felt truly alive. The soft whispering of the dragon filled his mind, not with fear but with hope. They had a secret. And it was perfect. Eli noticed the change first on his small personal device. The energy readings from the observation pod were rising, small ripples at first, almost like the dragon was stirring more than usual. He frowned and checked the station's central sensors. What he saw made his heart skip. Other systems had picked it up too. Energy signatures that could only belong to the dragon had begun to ripple across the station, faint but noticeable. He felt the dragon tense beside him. Its golden eyes flicked toward the doorway as if it could sense something before anyone appeared. Eli reached out and laid his hand on the tiny shimmering creature. It's okay, he whispered. I will protect you. The dragon pulsed, slow at first, then quickened like a heartbeat. They will find us, it whispered in his mind, small tremors of fear mixing with curiosity. I do not want them. Eli nodded, his thoughts calm even as his heart raced. I know. But you are not alone. I am here. We will figure this out together. By the next day, whispers had spread through the station. Officials and engineers noticed strange energy signals coming from a rarely used observation pod. Rumors flew. Some called it a malfunction in the power grids, others suspected an unknown alien presence. Security drones were sent to scan the area, but they found nothing. Eli moved quickly. He had learned how to stay ahead. The dragon could sense him and he could sense it. They communicated without words, using feeling and pulses of energy. It was a language only they understood, a quiet secret that no one else could hear. You are clever, the dragon said that evening, its tiny wings fluttering in excitement. No one sees us. No one hears us. Only you. Eli smiled. That is the way it should be. For now it's just us. But the galaxy would not stay quiet for long. News of unusual energy readings leaked through the station systems. Diplomats from distant planets became interested. Some wanted to study it, others wanted to contain it. Eli realized that the baby dragon was not just a small hidden creature anymore. It had become something that could draw attention from powerful beings across the stars. He looked at the dragon and felt a small wave of guilt. I did not know it could happen this fast, he admitted. I did not mean for anyone to notice you. The dragon pulsed softly, not angry, just curious. I am small. But the world senses me. It is not your fault. I am glad you are with me. Eli nodded, taking comfort in its words. He had to make a decision. He could no longer hide completely. If someone found the dragon, it could be dangerous. Some beings might be kind, but others might not understand. They could take the dragon away. They could separate him from it. He began planning carefully. Every day he brought small supplies, food that the dragon liked, clean water, and small soft cloths to line its pod. He also learned to control the dragon's pulses, teaching it to be quieter when sensors passed nearby. It was delicate work, but it strengthened their bond. You are teaching me, the dragon said one night. I do not understand fully, but I feel safer. Eli smiled. That is all I can do. Keep you safe, teach you to hide, and help you feel calm. That is enough. Days passed, and the energy readings continued to ripple across the station. Officials became curious, sending more scientists to check. Each time Eli stayed calm, keeping the dragon hidden, and speaking softly to it to reassure it. They were a team, quietly working together while the station around them buzzed with confusion. One afternoon, a young alien engineer, tall and silver-skinned, wandered close to the pod. Eli held his breath as the engineer scanned the area with a small device. The dragon trembled beside him, a ripple of fear passing into Eli's mind. "Do not worry," Eli whispered to it. "Stay calm. Breathe. I am here." The dragon pulsed and its fear softened. The engineer's device showed nothing unusual, only the normal background energy. The alien shrugged and walked away. Eli exhaled slowly. "We did it," he said. "We stayed safe." The dragon nudged his hand with its tiny claw, almost like it was saying thank you. Eli felt warmth in his chest. "You trust me," he said softly. "I trust you too." But deep inside, Eli knew this was only temporary. The energy readings would grow stronger. The galaxy would notice. Some would come out of curiosity, some out of desire, and some out of fear. He had to prepare. "I will not let them take you," he promised the dragon quietly. "I will find a way for us to stay together, no matter what happens." The dragon pulsed brightly in response, not fear this time, but hope. "I choose you," it whispered. "I will stay with you." Eli smiled, feeling a mix of relief and responsibility. The bond between them had grown stronger than he had imagined. They were no longer just a lonely human and a frightened baby dragon. They were a team. A small, secret team that could face the galaxy together. He leaned back and watched the tiny creature wrap its wings around itself, pulsing gently in the soft light of the observation pod. The stars outside were endless and vast, but inside this small space, they had created a world of trust, warmth, and quiet strength. And Eli knew, even as the signals in the station grew stronger and whispers of the unknown reached more ears, that the dragon had chosen him. And he had chosen the dragon. No one else mattered. For now, and for as long as he could, they would remain together, safe in the secret no one else could hear. The galaxy might be curious, it might be watching, but Eli had learned something powerful. Sometimes the strongest thing a human could do was to listen. And sometimes, listening was enough to change everything. The station was unusually busy that morning. Eli could feel it in the vibrations under his feet, the hurried footsteps of officials, and the soft hum of ships docking and leaving. He knew why. The energy readings from the dragon's pod had reached levels no one could ignore. Soon they would send someone powerful, someone who would not take excuses or understand feelings. Eli looked at the small creature curled beside him. Its golden eyes followed his every movement, its tiny wings flicking nervously. "Do not worry," Eli whispered. "Whatever happens, I will stay with you. You chose me and I chose you." The dragon pulsed brightly, a heartbeat of trust and comfort. "I know," it replied in Eli's mind. "I am not afraid if you are here." Moments later, a team of diplomats and security officials entered the observation dome. They were tall, intimidating, and uniformed, their eyes scanning the area with precision. They had come for the dragon. Eli stepped forward calmly. "I cannot help you," said one of the officials, a stern figure with silver markings along his forehead. "The creature you protect is unique. It belongs to the council now. You will hand it over." Eli shook his head. "I cannot do that," he said simply. "It does not belong to anyone. It chose me and I chose it. I will not separate us." The officials frowned. "It is for its own safety. For the safety of the galaxy. You do not understand what you hold." Eli took a deep breath. "I understand enough. I know it trusts me. I know it is alive, not a tool or a weapon. That is what matters." The dragon sensed his calm, steady presence, and it pulsed slowly in reassurance. Its fear was still there, but it softened because Eli's mind was strong and focused. Eli placed a hand on the dragon's shimmering back. "You are safe," he whispered. "I will not let anyone take you from me." The council official stepped closer, their eyes narrowing. "You underestimate the consequences of your choice. This being has powers that you cannot control. You could endanger the station, or even yourself." Eli did not step back. "Maybe," he said. "But I know one thing, I will not betray its trust. And I will not abandon it." The room grew tense. The dragon's energy began to resonate, a quiet hum that filled the small dome. It was calm but powerful, like a river flowing under ice. The officials exchanged worried glances. They had seen energy like this before but never connected to a creature that could feel, think, and bond. "Step away," Eli said softly but firmly. "You do not understand it. I do." The dragon pulsed brighter now, almost like it was agreeing, sending warmth into Eli's mind. Its small voice whispered, "It is our choice. No one else can decide for me." The council official's expression hardened. "You leave us no choice. We will remove it by force if necessary." Eli's eyes narrowed, but he did not panic. He had not planned for this moment fully, but he trusted the bond he shared with the dragon. "If you try, you will see that it will not go quietly. And I will not let you harm it." The dragon's pulse surged suddenly, a quiet but firm wave of energy. It did not attack, but the vibration of its feelings spread across the room, pressing gently against the minds of the officials. They staggered slightly, surprised. The dragon was not dangerous in the usual sense. It did not use fire or claws, but its emotional resonance was strong enough to make them pause. The officials stepped back, sensing that this was no ordinary creature. The council member looked at Eli, confusion and respect mixing on their face. "It chose you?" they asked quietly. "Yes," Eli replied. "It trusts me. I will not betray it. That is enough." The room fell silent. The other officials looked at one another, then back at the dragon, whose energy was now steady and calm beside Eli. The golden eyes glimmered with trust, and the dragon's small wings fluttered once, gently. The lead official sighed. "Perhaps humans have a way of connecting that we do not fully understand," they said. "If it is truly a choice, then it will remain with you. But know this, the galaxy will watch. Others may come." Eli nodded. "I know. But for now we are safe." The dragon pulsed warmly, a slow heartbeat of joy and relief. "I am glad you are here," it whispered. "I am not afraid." Eli smiled softly. "Neither am I. We will face the galaxy together, one step at a time." For the first time since it had arrived, the dragon relaxed completely. It nestled close to Eli, shimmering softly, its wings wrapped around itself. Eli leaned back, feeling the quiet warmth of trust and friendship. The danger was still out there waiting, but for this moment they were safe. And in that small observation pod, a human and a baby dragon made a choice that would change their futures, and the future of anyone who ever believed that connection, trust, and understanding could matter more than rules, power, or fear. Eli realized that the galaxy might be watching, but he had something the council and officials could never take: the dragon's trust. And he had a promise to keep. "I will stay with you," he whispered, holding the small shimmering creature close. "No matter what comes, I will not leave. This is our choice and it is enough." The dragon pulsed brightly, sending waves of quiet energy into Eli's mind. "It is enough," it replied. "With you I am safe. And together we will face whatever comes next." The station outside hummed with life, unaware that a small miracle had taken place inside a hidden observation pod. A human and a dragon, quiet but unbreakable, had chosen each other, and in that choice the world around them shifted in ways no one could have predicted. Eli looked at the stars beyond the glass walls of the station. They stretched endlessly, vast and full of unknowns. Yet for the first time he did not feel small or alone. He had a companion who trusted him completely. He had a purpose. And for the baby dragon, there was something even more important: a human who listened, understood, and would never abandon it. Together they had made a choice. Together they had changed the course of their lives forever. Life on the station slowly returned to its usual rhythm, but for Eli, nothing felt ordinary anymore. The small dragon had grown stronger, though still young, and their bond had deepened in ways he could not have imagined. Every day they shared quiet moments together, exploring hidden corners of the station, listening to the hum of engines, and watching the stars stretch endlessly beyond the glass walls. The dragon, who Eli had finally named Leora, seemed to thrive near him. Her golden eyes sparkled brighter, and her tiny wings stretched wider with each passing day. She had learned to hide her energy pulses when necessary, but with Eli she was free to be herself. In return, Eli felt alive in ways he never had before. The loneliness that had haunted him for years had melted into warmth, purpose, and joy. Eli had grown used to whispers in his mind. Leora never spoke aloud, but their thoughts flowed together naturally. Some moments were playful, some quiet, some filled with curiosity. One afternoon they discovered a small garden dome that was abandoned and full of strange, glowing plants. Leora flitted around, chasing tiny lights that danced in the air, her laughter echoing in Eli's mind like music. "You always find the most interesting places," Eli said, smiling as he watched her. "They are beautiful," Leora replied. "I like being with you here. It feels safe." Eli's chest swelled with happiness. He had never realized how much he needed someone to feel safe with, and now he understood. Leora's presence had changed him. He had once been lonely, unsure and quiet, but now he was brave in ways he hadn't known. He could face the galaxy because he was not alone. As the weeks passed, whispers of Leora's existence traveled slowly through the station. Some were curious, others skeptical. Officials occasionally checked energy readings, but they never fully understood the connection between Eli and the dragon. It was not a creature to be controlled or studied. It was a companion, a friend, and a partner in ways that no device or rule could measure. One day, Eli received a message from another station far across the galaxy. It was simple: "There is another like yours. Can you help?" He glanced at Leora, who tilted her head in curiosity. "Another?" he asked aloud. "Yes," Leora replied softly in his mind. "There are others like me. They seek humans who can listen." Eli's heart beat faster. He realized that their story was bigger than just the station. Humans, with their ability to feel, to understand, and to listen, were uniquely suited to bond with dragons. And that bond could change everything. "I think we are not alone," he said. "We can help them, but we must be careful. Always careful." Leora pulsed brightly in agreement. Together, they began planning small journeys to other stations, exploring the galaxy quietly while keeping Leora safe. Eli learned how to navigate the complexities of different species, cultures, and stations. Yet no matter where they went, the bond between human and dragon remained the center of everything. The more time they spent together, the more Eli noticed something else. His perspective on life had shifted. He appreciated small things now: the way sunlight bounced off the station walls, the gentle hum of engines, the warmth of Leora's presence beside him. He smiled more freely, laughed more easily, and felt hope grow in his heart each day. Leora in turn learned from him. She discovered patience, curiosity, and kindness in ways she had never known. She pulsed with joy at simple things: a quiet moment in a garden dome, a shared story of Eli's past, the gentle brushing of his hand against her scales. Their connection was a quiet miracle, unnoticed by most, but powerful beyond measure. Months passed. Eli and Leora became known quietly among those who valued trust, kindness, and listening. Other dragons, previously hidden or lost, began to reach out to humans who were open-hearted, creating bonds that were never forced or demanded. The galaxy slowly began to see a new truth: humans were not weak. They were capable of listening, understanding, and forming connections that changed the course of lives, even entire worlds. One evening, Eli and Leora sat together in their favorite garden dome. Stars stretched endlessly beyond the glass, and the quiet hum of the station surrounded them. Leora pulsed softly, nestling close. "You are no longer lonely," she said, her voice a warm whisper in his mind. Eli smiled, feeling a deep peace. "Neither are you. We found each other. That is enough." Leora's wings flicked gently. "We will face the galaxy together. Always together." "Yes," Eli said. "Always." He watched her shimmer in the soft light, feeling the pulse of life and trust that flowed between them. The galaxy outside might be vast and unpredictable, full of beings he did not know, and challenges he could not yet imagine. But inside this small corner of space, a human and a dragon had found something rare: a bond of choice, trust, and love. Eli realized that he had changed. He had grown stronger, braver, and kinder, not through power or weapons but through patience, listening, and care. And Leora had grown too, learning what it meant to trust, to feel, and to be safe. Together they were more than human and dragon. They were partners, friends, and companions in a universe that often did not understand them. The stars beyond the glass glimmered softly. Eli reached out, and Leora nudged his hand with her tiny claw. He felt warmth, happiness, and belonging, a feeling he had not known for years. For the first time in his life he did not feel lonely. Not ever. And for Leora, the small dragon who had whispered into a lonely human's mind, the world was full of possibilities, wonder, and love. They had chosen each other, and together they would face the galaxy side by side forever. The quiet hum of the station surrounded them as they sat together, watching stars that stretched across endless space. In that moment, Eli and Leora understood something simple but powerful. Life was no longer about being alone. It was about connection, trust, and the choices that could change everything. The galaxy would continue to turn, mysteries would continue to unfold, and other dragons and humans would find each other. But for now, in this small observation pod, a human and his dragon had discovered a life that was never lonely again. And that was enough.